to my channel. It's me, Jenisha Stanley again, and today I'm going to review the book, I Survived the Great Chicago Fire, 1871. This book was written by Tarshis and illustrated by Scott Dawson. This book has 15 chapters and 96 pages, and I want to tell you something. All the characters in this book are fake, but the fire did happen, only in 1871, and that was almost 150 years ago. Oscar and his family took a train that entered Chicago, and they went there and survived the Great Chicago Fire. Let us see how that happened. So they were on the train. Oscar never even wanted to go, but he did. He made up his mind, and he went with his mom and dad. And then finally, they were going to go. Then, at the railway station, Oscar was left there to watch over the suitcases whenever this girl came. And then Oscar told the girl, "I've lost my parents." The girl left him in a room, and then immediately Oscar went back to the place where the suitcases were. And guess what? They were gone. His dad told the police, and then the police found out that that girl wasn't a normal girl. She was a crook. She was working for a team of robbers, and then the robbers actually stole the suitcases. She just guided Oscar away so the others could steal it, and that was very bad. Then they were going to a hotel called Palmer Hotel. Oscar was left outside, and then he was walking outside all the way to the hotel whenever he saw two kids named Jenny and Bruno. Jenny was approximately 9, and Bruno was approximately 3. And then Jenny said, "Bruno, I think I have enough money to get enough milk for both of us." And a cookie, Bruno said, and then Jenny said, "Let's see, Bruno, maybe I have enough money to get a cookie and some milk." Then they saw Oscar, and Oscar went to talk to them. The next day, just as Jenny was about to go buy some milk and maybe a cookie, boom, blam, kaboom, this fire appeared out of nowhere. It was right after them. First, there were these sparks everywhere. They were like red hot snowflakes going right towards them. The wind blew them everywhere, and they were burning Jenny, Oscar, and Bruno. And Bruno was like, "Hot, hot," trying to bury his head into Oscar's neck. And then they found some old clothes, and then Jenny took a hat and put it on, and then gave it to Oscar. Then Oscar put it on Bruno so it would protect him and it wouldn't hurt. The fire tortured Bruno, so that's why. Then, after wandering around for a few hours from that fire, they found a barrel of water. They drank lots of that water and splashed it in their faces, and then it cooled down their burns they got. After they washed their faces and drank some of the cool water, they felt a little better. And guess what? Jenny lived in Chicago for a very long time, so she knew the way. Her mommy used to take Bruno and Jenny to deliver her cakes and cookies. And that's when Oscar said, "You would be a great tracker of Chicago," Oscar told her. But then there were some rattlesnake colored eyes peering through the smoke. It was Otis Weber. Otis Weber stole all of Oscar and his family's suitcases. Otis laid his eyes on Jenny, and then she was like, "Jenny." And then Jenny said, "Hi, Otis." "Hi, Otis," really quietly. Otis said, "You come with us. Today's a big night. We won't have to work again for a whole year." And then Oscar was like, "Leave her alone. Leave them alone," he said louder than he ever said before. And then Otis was about to explode, and he did. He took a knife from his shirt and was smoothing it across his cheek. And then it was whenever Otis's other hand came and punching Oscar in the nose, he fell. And Oscar never knew how long he was there, lying there. He almost died that time. And then whenever he got up, his nose felt crushed. His brain felt it was shaken up like crazy. And then he was like, Jenny, Bruno! But this time, he was a lot more quiet because he noticed that his voice, he almost lost his voice completely. And then this happened. The fire ran into a big building, igniting it. Just as it was about to fall on Oscar, Oscar was frozen in fear. He didn't know what to do. Then he heard someone calling his name, Oscar! Then he saw a shadow. He saw a familiar face peeking out from all of the smoke. And he let himself fall into the strong arms that were there for him. It was his dad. Then he instantly understood that both his dad and mom survived. So then, since his dad found him, he took them to the northern part of Chicago. Since the flames wouldn't reach there, they made it there. Then they found this rowboat and some oars. They were paddling there whenever there was this flaming boat heading towards them. And then his dad said, Oscar, can you swim? And then Oscar replied, yes. And then his dad said, we have no time, jump! Because that boat was moving way too quickly for them to take the boat out of the way. And whenever they got in the water, they got out just in time. The boat got burned and got pushed away by that flaming boat. And then, since Oscar could swim, but it was his dad that was struggling the most because he couldn't swim. Then Oscar found this piece of wood and thrust it straight to his dad. Then they made it to shore. And guess what? The whole river was on fire. Oscar couldn't believe it. Then they made it to his house. So Oscar and his dad were at Lake Michigan. And then Oscar immediately saw his mom and ran towards her. Then they hugged each other and were crying for joy. Their teardrops mixed with the rain that put out every last spark of the fire. Then, the next day, Jenny and Bruno were walking towards their house whenever Bruno called out Oscar's name. And then Oscar gave a hug to Bruno and held Jenny's hand. And then, whenever they went downstairs to eat food, Jenny would tell them all about the story, how they escaped. Otis took them somewhere safe, and then Jenny would tell the rest of the story. So, this is the way the young boy named Oscar Sterling escaped the Great Chicago Fire. He also helped his dad and Jenny and Bruno escape. And guess what? More than 334,000 people were living in Chicago at the time, and about approximately 100,000 people lost their homes, and almost 300 people died in that horrible fire. So that was a really bad one. So everyone go and read this book to learn more about the Great Chicago Fire and a young boy named Oscar Sterling who escaped that horrible fire, and an amazing story. Friends, thanks for watching my videos. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel to stay tuned in on my new videos. I'll fly over to my next video. See you there.